We're back. That's right. The Todd, Durkin Impact Show is back with record numbers of people tuning in. Thank you. Hallelujah. All the great people listening in. Thank you for your shares over these last several weeks. Amazing growth. That means something's resonating. So thank you for all of your comments, all of your shares. Keep them coming, please. I am just loving. My heart and soul are full and so grateful. Gosh, it goes back several episodes ago when we kicked this bad boy off of, man, I don't know if I should share all this versus I'll just dive into the rebrand. And many of you have expressed your gratitude for sharing all that I've shared. Even, in 302, this almost killed me, which I'd said at that time was my deepest podcast to date. But then the back episode last week, and then my back broke. Y'all were like, that was deep. I didn't know all that. Well, that's why I shared it, because if you didn't know it and you didn't know the pain that I went through physically and mentally, which is leading me to where I'm going now and what we're doing. This is what's going to happen as we play out. Is I'm going to share today one more episode on the past 3 years. It's going to be a quicker one. And then next week, I'm going to have some really exciting news and fun shares and all the great things that we're doing with the TDE brand. And then your Q&A. Your Q&A that you're dropping. So keep it coming. Many of you are texting me. Thank you. Many of you have signed up. I had not been signed up for my text community. The number 619-304-2216, 619-304-2216. Yes, it really is me. So when you do that, you're going to see me get back to you. Any questions you have on anything from 301, 302, 30, anything on up through the end here. But as we kick into 304 today, what was I thinking? What was I thinking on all this? You can probably see that physically and mentally how someone gets rattled. Have you ever been there? You're like, man, looking back in retrospect, what was I thinking? Truth be told, 2022, I was coming out of all of this. Again, my back was healed up for I'll call it divine healing for some folks who had prayed over my back and all that I had been doing. But I wasn't speaking as much as I wanted to yet. I couldn't believe that 2020, when I made all the changes, I was like, it's because I'm going to be hitting the road and getting after it. Well, 2022, we still weren't really doing a ton of live events yet. Some, but not as many as I thought we would be. So my soul wasn't being fed professionally as much as I wanted to. In other words, my purpose wasn't being fulfilled at the level that I wanted. I'm not sure that makes sense, but maybe in your current role, your current job, your current occupation, have you ever felt like, man, I'm just not at full stride yet? For me, I'd be doing, speaking 1 to 2 times a week, whether it's local or on the road. I love speaking. I love live events. At live events, I'm at my best. I love connecting with people. I love pouring into people. There's nothing like a live event. Virtual's cool, but it's not like a live event. Can y'all feel me on that? So I was a little bored. I was like, okay, well, life's good, but I'm bored. I'm not being completely fulfilled. So as a matter of fact, it got so bad that I actually accepted a role that I never in a million years would have said I would actually accept. But I was bored and I became the GM of an arena football team in early 2022. Some of you probably remember that. Some of you may have blocked it out like I have. But the truth is, my wife, Melanie, let me throw Melanie under the bus here for a little bit. Mel, she threw me under the bus. She knew I was bored. She knew I was searching. She knew I love football. But man, oh man, what a train wreck that was. The team had no money. The coach didn't get paid. Vendors didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. It was ugly all over the place. And it was nothing more than a 3-month distraction, a side hustle gone bad. And looking back, I laugh, but I love those guys. There were some of those players, man. I loved working with the guys, the athletes, and there were some people within the organization who I really respected and revered. But man, did I get sidetracked. And the funny part is I joked to Melanie that she's the one who talked me into it. I told her that if an NFL job or a college football job ever came calling, I'd listen. But she said, No, 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 not while McKenna's in school. Nope, no. So you can do this because it's local and it's not going to require you to travel, but never in a million years did I see myself experimenting with this organization where I couldn't lead the way I wanted to. And listen, I don't care what organization you lead, what team you lead. There's got to be some cash flow. And if there's not cash flow, it's going to be an experiment gone bad. And it was, I'm glad that I did it because I met some great people, but I'm not glad I took that risk as well. But in 2022, I also had another knee surgery. You're like, wait a second. You already had your right. You already had your left. You've been sharing that. How'd you have another one? You only have two knees. I had a third knee surgery on my left knee, the one that was the most recent one. What happened was scar tissue had formed. Well, when my back went out and I couldn't move and I was incapacitated and laid up, I didn't do physical therapy. My body was shutting down and all of the scar tissue and adhesions and spurs and all the junk built up in my knee. So I'm back to my doctor's like, man, my range of motion is bad. It hurts. Something's not right. Well, we went back in there in August of 2022 and we cleaned it up. We shaved it down, got the spurs down and we got it working again, nice and smooth. So 3 knee surgeries later, I got to say, I'm feeling so much better and so much more like myself because we talk about health, how many times on that. So if your energy's off, if your health is off, you got to make sure you have the right team of people around you. And sometimes it's going to take a surgery. I am not for surgery if you don't have to do it. But thank God, if and when you need it, we've got a medical team all over the place that can really help us get to where we want to be. So, man, I know this, that the soul was feeling a little bit unfulfilled. I was searching. The surgery again said, you know what? I'm getting through this. I never faced this at this level before, but I knew God had me where he wanted me. I was off stride, but I was on the right track. So 2020, 21, and 22, there was a lot of brokenness, a lot of soul searching, so to speak. And I was going as deep as I've ever gone. And here's my lessons, specifically from 2022, but really over the last 3 years. Number one, if it's not a 9, it's a 0. That means if it's a 7 opportunity, it's not a 9, don't do it. Don't do it. It better be a 9 out of 10. Like, man, I know I need this. I don't care what my wife says. I don't care what my kids say. I don't care what all my other, like, you got to make sure it's a 9. You got to want to do it bad. For me, it was a 7. I should have never taken that role as GM. Number 2, be grateful for the people in your life, regardless of how bad or good things are. Gratitude is the best thing. I threw Melanie under the bus, but truth be told is I'm not sure I'd be here right now if it wasn't for her. I don't know if I'd be podcasting. I don't know if I'd be alive because, man, I about got broken. In 2020 and 2021, I was digging as deep as I've ever dug before. She was with me every step of the way. She was in that car when I got that bad news from the doctor, and she told me, stop feeling sorry for myself. And there's way more than 10 million people in this world that would need to be inspired. And it's not what you want. It's what God wants for you. And if you're obedient to that calling, then maybe it's going to be 100 million people who you're going to inspire, not 10 million people. She never left my side. Besides talking me into that dumb job, she listened, she encouraged, she uplifted me. I'm so grateful for her every step of the way. And most importantly, she said the words that I say to so many people that each and every one of us needs to hear. I believe in you. I believe in you. Right now, as I share this and I say to you, I believe in you, I know that you have a story as well. I know that wherever you are today, a high, a low, lows, listening to my story, you're like, I remember that, or you're there right now. I want to make sure that you know what I'm saying right now is I believe in you because I know the power of the human spirit. When you have the desire to continue to dig deep and to really go deeper than you've ever thought you could, and your timing isn't what you want, I believe in you. I believe in you. You hear me? You feel me? I believe in you. I'm extremely grateful, besides Melanie, these past 3 years, some amazing people. Pastor Miles McPherson got me through the pandemic in 2020 in our Bible study group every Tuesday night without fail. We met online. Miles, Andre Reed. Yeah, that Andre Reed, former Buffalo Bills. Chad Michael Murray, who I had not met before this, but he's an actor. If you're into Hallmark movies and TV, Chad Michael Murray. And Tyrell Williams, who is a client of mine for many years, who's a former NFL wide receiver, and all of our wives. I'm very grateful for them for those last 3 years. My man, Jeff Bristol, warrior in the trenches, man. There's not a lot of people in the trenches. You'd be like, I count on this guy, this gal in the worst of times. That brother, we joined hands in 2020, 2021 to today. And I am so grateful that he is doing a great job as a leader at FQ10. And again, I said it previously, I feel like a grandfather more than a father at FQ10 as far as the leadership factor, but I'm so proud. I'm so proud of this organization and this team and this community and this culture, the people who are here grinding from 5 a.m. Till 9 p.m. Saturday and Sundays. FQ10 has brought me so much joy and happiness over 23 plus years. And every single day I think about way back when we were starting with no clients, no money, no business plan. It was founded upon one thing: change lives. Pour to people and change lives. And guess what? That's the same exact thing that we do today is we change lives. And as it evolves and grows, and as I grow and evolve, guess what? So is FQ10, because it's for the long haul, baby. Pastor Jeremiah. Oh, my goodness. 7 years of training this man. During the pandemic, I wasn't able to see him as much. He was pastoring Shadow Mountain Church. But we have gotten so close over these last couple of years again. And my relationship with Pastor Jeremiah, dare I may say, there's been no man in the last 2 years been more impactful on my life than Pastor Jay. As a mentor, as a friend, as someone whom I try to emulate, I don't take a single day with him for granted. When he asked me to share the Father's Day message this upcoming June the 18th at Shadow Mountain and Turning Point Ministries, my mind is still blown. And as I've been really thinking about that message of what I'm going to share for Father's Day, I know that Pastor Jeremiah, I am so grateful for him and what he brings to the table, right? What he brings. Another lesson is when you feel a bit lost, I want to remind you, like I've reminded myself, to keep battling, keep going, keep moving forward, keep creating. All the things I created, I've shared that. You saw it. Some of you have my products. You have the God-Sized Dreams Planner, or you have the Impact Journal for the morning and the evening routine, or you have the Get Your Mind Right book or any of my other books, or you're part of my mastermind programs for Fit Pros or my Impact X program, or you're like, man, what's this Impact Life Coaching certification coming up? All of those are programs or products that were developed and created for me, by me during this time. Why? Because it allowed me to work on programs and products with where I was at. How many times are you working on a program product because it's where you're at in your journey, in your walk? I do believe that some of my most prolific work has been done in the last 3 years. And I mean that because I've been in the deepest place. Coming from a place of pain sometimes allows you to do your best purposeful work. Knowing that, man, time is limited, it's finite. And when I think about some of the things in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, all of these things were because of where I was at. So why do I share all this? Well, because we all have a struggle. We all have a struggle somewhere, right? And maybe it's just a portion of your life. And I shared my story over these last several weeks because I know you have a story also. And our stories can help inspire and motivate other people. And it's hard to share what's not good and what's not working. And it'd be really easy for me to not, over these last few episodes, to share all of this stuff and just go into all the things that are working. And here's the products. And hey, we got a rebrand going on and let's go, baby, let's roll. It's going to mean something a little different For me and for you, knowing that you know the struggle that's been behind it. You don't ever think of me as, oh, he's got it all together. Oh, it's just really simple and easy for him. Nope, it's just like you. It's just like you. Sometimes things are working and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're simpatico and sometimes they're not. And over the course of these past few episodes, I've shared a lot of where I've been broken and what's not working, where I've been burnt out, where I've been empty, where I've been lost, where I've lost my mojo and where I've lost energy or where I've lost some alignment, where I've lost, well, a lot of things, where I felt anxious and sometimes even anxiety or sometimes even down or depressed. Like, man, I got to get up. I got to snap my band. Why do you think I have 3 bands on my wrists? Because I could snap them and pop them. And maybe it's one thing. Maybe it's a complex thing you got going on, right? Whatever that is. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you got to reach out and get professional help. Good. Get it. Get that. I understand it. I want you to know that. I want you to know this. This reinvention project or this reinvention series, it's taken several years. And after, I don't even know, the last 6 to 12 months of working on how the heck this has all happened and why it's happened, I can tell you that I'm so excited for what you're about to start seeing in the weeks, months, and years ahead. It's going to be as deep as it's ever been. It goes beyond just a refreshment or a revision of our logos and a revision of our icons and our gear and our swag and our books and this. It goes even beyond the messaging. It goes beyond the new website that is now live and kicking. And again, we've been working on this thing for so long. Why? Because it goes beyond it, because it's soul. It's all about soul. It's all about that. And lastly, I want to remind you of something that I'll share in times of brokenness, that God is always with you. He's always with you and he'll never leave you. And sometimes we feel like he's left us. And sometimes we feel like, man, I just don't know. Is he there? I want you to know that in these times of brokenness, in these times of confusion, many times, it's this. And I've got some verses. I'm going to share a few verses. I'll rapid fire. Maybe you use this as your time of prayer, but God is always with us. Joshua 1:9 says this: have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Isaiah 41:10 says this: fear not, for I am with you. Don't be dismayed, for I'm your God. I'll strengthen you. I'll help you. I'll uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will not let you go. He's with us all the time. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. My friends listening in today, realize that God will not leave you or forsake you. You just got to extend your heart and your hand out and say, God, I need you, man. Please, I need you. Speak with him. It's the relationship, right? It's that relationship. Matthew 28:20, teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. To the end of the age. And Hebrews 13:5 says, keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's Hebrews 13:5. And perhaps my favorite verse of all, and one that I have come back to multiple times over the last 3 years of 2021 and 2, is Proverbs 3:5 and 6. It's a memory verse. You can memorize this. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Listen to that. In the worst of times, when you have to be scraped off the couch, when your back is killing you, or when you're being wheeled in on a gurney to get your second or your third or your first surgery on your knee, on your back, on your shoulder. Can you trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, lean not on the flesh and the bones, but lean on his understanding, not our understanding, his. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Whatever that takes, are you going to lean on God? Are you going to do those things of what it takes to say, hey, God, I'm not going to forsake you. I'm here for you. Lean on him. Lean on him at all times. The bottom line is this, my friends. I believe now, reading all your comments and all the questions flooding in, keep them coming. I want your questions so that I can make sure we have an epic close to the series. Drop them via the text, email, or my DM. I believe there's a lot of people right now who are reinventing themselves, or recreating themselves, or maybe refreshing and re-inspiring yourself. Because isn't every day a re-inspiration? We're trying to reignite our spirits. We're trying to reignite our souls and our energy. Why? So that we can survive today, and not just survive, but thrive in what it's going to take. Yes, sometimes we do have to pause. We have to reset. We got to recalibrate. And sometimes we do have to reinvent. Why? Because it keeps us fresh. It keeps us energized. It keeps us sharp. It keeps our mind growing. It keeps that growth mindset going, because there's nothing worse than being stagnant or being stale or feeling like, well, we're making no progress at all for months or years to come. And that's why God continues to impart on our spirits of you. Yeah. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to me. Is God calling you to do something greater that requires greater courage and greater command? Listen in. So regardless of how empty or lost or broken or burnt out you may be, have faith that your brokenness very well could be leading you to your biggest blessing. We may not understand that until we look back in the next couple of years, what that means, but we got to keep moving. We got to keep moving forward. And here's my mindset now. Stay in gratitude. You got to stay in gratitude right now. Keep serving. Keep serving. How are you serving? Please keep serving. I want to know, how can I serve you? Let me know how I can serve you. And I want to know what you're doing to serve as well. For me, don't worry. This podcast is going to continue to proliferate. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help in sharing. Make sure that this bad boy goes all over the world. When I'm traveling, I want people in airports and places say, hey, I listened to that show, and guess what? It saved my life. It allowed me to become a better man, a better father, a better wife, a better husband, a better mother, a better parent, a better son, a better daughter, a better entrepreneur, a better athlete, a better human being. And remember this. When I say the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come. The season of life that you're in, I'm now in the third season, the third quarter of life. It's almost as if there's a 25-year period that this will be my most defining season yet. Let's have that mindset for you, whether you're in the first season, second season, third season, or four. Those four fingers go up. I know this. Coaching is my DNA. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's who I am, and it's what I do. I love to motivate. I love to inspire. I love to instill belief in people, and hopefully that does that for you as well. I love getting people healthy on all levels, body, mind, and soul. Not just pro athletes, but people like you, people who have walked in my shoes, and people who've tasted success, and people who've achieved some pinnacle achievements. But know that there's more to be created. There's some divine things that still need to be tapped into. And for me, whether it's on stage speaking, or for you, for me, if it's coaching in one of my programs, or this very podcast, a book, or at the gym, I know it's about impact. I'm going to go to the grave someday. But I'm going to go to that grave knowing that through thick and thin, the best of times and the worst of times, times when I've been flat out, it was always about impact. And hopefully my story inspires you to share your story and to continue to proliferate your story, to go deeper and deeper in your own body, in your own mind, and in your own soul, because I want your story to save and inspire other people in your life as well. So thank you, and thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for teaching. Thank you for coaching. Thank you for being the doctor or the attorney, the parent, the mom and dad that you are. And just most importantly, thank you for battling, and thank you for being you. Till next time, much love and tons of impact. Train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go create impact. Woo-hoo-hoo! Whoa, man, oh man, can you feel me today? I hope you enjoyed that episode and these last several episodes for the series, all on reinvention and rebranding. Just a couple announcements here real quick as you're rocking and rolling and getting ready for your day to get rolling. Next week, I'm going to be looking forward to sharing some great things with our brand new, fresh, rebranded Todd Durkin website, the TDE brand, and how it's set up to help you even more with all that you're doing. You probably already checked it out. Thank you. Congratulations. I hope you're enjoying it. Please, any question you have, please ask your questions. Go on to that new website. And don't forget, you got to make sure you're opted in as well to the new Dose of Durkin emails dropping on Thursdays. So that means you're going to get a Monday email from me. And that's where I actually recap every Monday. I drop an email to inspire you and to share this week's podcast episode and give you my thoughts on it. But now you get the and then some, the bonus podcast, well, the bonus message, not podcast, it's a message that's going to be both inspiration and a weekly workout challenge. It's going to be real simple. I'm not giving you videos and all that, but I'm going to challenge you with something very simple. I didn't say easy. I said simple. And yes, there'll be free workouts every week. So hop over to todddurkin.com, todddurkin.com. There's 3 Ds in there, TODD, DURKIN, and check it all out. And then lastly, just a few other things. I love sharing on my text community. If you're not yet part of it, you're going to get FOMO. Trust me, be in the text community. Just text me, sign up, 619-304-2216. You'll be in my text community, and I'll be dropping you some dimes in there. So get in there. And as always, please share today's episode on your social media. Snap a picture. Boop. Snap that bad boy. Put it on your Instagram stories or wherever you hang out on your social media. And I do want to know your questions. As we're getting close, I've got 2 more episodes left. All about the rebrand next week. We're going to talk shop. We're going to talk business so you understand all that happened leading up to this. I'll tell you what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it better. And then the final episode is going to be all your Q&A. So if you have any questions and answers, or I'll provide some answers. You provide the questions on anything going back all the way to Rory Vaden and Divine Uniqueness, all into episodes 301, 2, 3, 4, on into that. I want to know from the Reinvention Series, the final episode is going to be answering your questions from episodes 301 all the way through this one. So please share your question. You can do it either, you can email me, Durkin@fitnessquest10.com, or text me, 619-304-2216. Text me your question, and then I'll use that question in the final episode of this Reinvention and Rebranding series. Thank you so much. Go out today and have an incredible day. Go create some impact. Thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me. Go be great today. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's go, baby. Rock and roll. It's time for some impact. Let's go.